6:24 here on the East Coast. Good morning to you, and thank you for continuing to follow this breaking news. We've come on the air early on this Thursday as the bodies of 4 Israeli hostages arrive to undergo identification procedures. This is happening there at the National Institute of Forensic Medicine in Tel Aviv, Israel. This has been a long journey. We know the Associated Press has provided some context, so I want to share this with you. So to provide how these bodies got here, the militants displayed 4 black coffins on a stage in the Gaza Strip this Thursday, surrounded by a lot of chaos from what the AP reports. They say there were large banners, including a large one depicting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as a vampire. We now see, as they are here, that there is audio on this feed. Let's listen in.
להעלות את האנשים. די, לפתוח את התנועה. בואו תעלו, אני פותח את התנועה. תעלו. כולם באים בדרכך.
If you're just now tuning into Live Now from Fox, good morning to you. I'm Jeanne Francine. An emotional time in Israel this Thursday morning. The camera panning now to the crowd that stands outside of the National Institute of Forensic Medicine in Tel Aviv, Israel. Tears and just a somber moment as these bodies arrive. I can tell you all, it's been a long journey. IDF and ISA forces are bringing the coffins of the 4 deceased hostages over the border into Israel this morning from Gaza. We're told thousands of people in Gaza, including large numbers of masked and armed militants, looked on as the coffins were loaded onto Red Cross vehicles before being driven to Israeli forces. That's when those bodies were taken. And I can tell you, they traveled a long way along Route 232. And we saw in real time how people came together with flags pulling over on the side of the road, just showing solidarity on this Thursday. The Bibas family, that is the family that has been brought back, including Oded Lifshitz. Oded was 83 when he was abducted back on October 7th. And then one of the children, only 9 months old when he was taken. The family's sad that their loved ones aren't being brought back alive, but they did want the bodies to have a proper funeral. You can see the media tried to speak with that lady there who was overcome with emotion as she was crying, but she chose not to speak. But again, as I mentioned, people coming out in solidarity, waving Israeli flags. That's what you're seeing at this hour. Now, Israeli President Isaac Herzog, he did release a statement to the Associated Press. He says, quote, "Our hearts, the hearts of an entire nation lie in tatters." He goes on to say, "On behalf of the state of Israel, I bow my head and ask for forgiveness. Forgiveness for not protecting you on that terrible day. Forgiveness for not bringing you home safely." Getting back to this live shot in Tel Aviv, Israel, we are learning that the military plans to hold a small funeral ceremony at the request of the families before transferring the bodies to a laboratory for formal identification using DNA, a process that could take up to 2 days. We're learning only then will the families be given the final notification. So we saw this entire process here on Live Now from Fox, a bittersweet moment for many in that area. Sad that the hostages have not been returned home alive to their loved ones and to their friends, but they do say they are thankful to get the bodies to have a proper funeral. The images speak for themselves, the tears, the embraces of people who don't even know each other, but have come together to support the Israeli community in real time. So just wanting to share that with you. Some of the feeds dropping out, this one staying up. I do want to show you, speaking of solidarity at this time, this image, truly compelling. It takes us out to Hostage Square in Tel Aviv. This is the location where we've seen on many weekends where protests and rallies have been held, where people have gotten on stage and called out the Israeli government, specifically Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, demanding that he do more for a ceasefire so that the hostages can be released. Again, just seeing all of the flags there waving in the wind and seeing people not talking, just watching the screens and watching everything in real time, it truly speaks volumes. We are not knowing if an Israeli government briefing will happen because of this, but if we get any word from the offices there in Tel Aviv, Israel, we will make sure to update you.